But we start at Newcastle, but not Alexander Isak. Well, not just yet anyway. In the last half an hour, Wolves have rejected a £50 million bid from Newcastle for Jorgen Strand Larsen. For more, we can cross live to St James's Park and join Keith Downey. Keith, what more can you tell us on this bid then?
Yeah, if you just come to me 10 seconds quicker there, you might have just grabbed a quick word with Eddie Howe, because he just slapped me on my shoulder on the way past. And Eddie Howe and Newcastle have, as you rightly say, Gail, today made a £50 million offer to Wolverhampton Wanderers for their striker Jorgen Strand Larsen. It's £50 million up front, no add-ons. Newcastle, of course, desperate for striker reinforcements. We all know the situation surrounding Alexander Isak. We still don't know yet if he will remain a Newcastle United player or move on this transfer window. Of course, they've been trying for other targets as well. Many of those deals have been stretched out, protracted. So they've gone to Wolves, attempted to bring in Strand Larsen, but Wolves have turned that offer down today. They say the player is not for sale. It will be interesting to see whether Newcastle go in with an improved bid for the Norwegian striker. But clearly, Eddie Howe looking for striking reinforcements. They don't want to overspend. I spoke to him just a couple of days ago in the build-up to this game. He says they don't want to overspend, but they know they need strikers in because they're playing not just in the Premier League this season, but they've got a Champions League campaign to contend with as well.
We would like one, but it's got to be the right one at the right price. It's got to fit the club both short term and long term. There's a lot of key things that have to be met. What we can't do is make a bad decision or overpay for a player that puts us in long term financial difficulty with PSR. So all those things come into play here. We lost Callum Wilson, who was a massive player for us, massive character for us. We're still looking to replace him.
So Keith, Eddie talking about looking for reinforcements. We know they are desperate to bring players in. Who else is on their shopping list?
Yeah, well, Gail, I alluded to ever so slightly there in my previous answer. Johan Wissa is a player who we've been speaking about for a number of weeks now. Newcastle, of course, have had two bids rejected by Brentford for his services. The first of those was last month, £25 million. Then there was an improved offer of £35 million plus £5 million as add-on. In add-ons, that also turned down by Brentford. And Newcastle still hoping to do a deal for Johan Wissa, but Brentford really digging their heels in, and it feels as though their stance has hardened over the last couple of days. And their manager, Keith Andrews, saying at his news conference this afternoon that he hopes and expects Wissa to be a Brentford player beyond the end of the transfer window.
It's just a decision based around what I feel is best for the group. Keep saying it, understanding of the situation, understanding of the market, what goes on. It's going on at every single club, I'd imagine, up and down the land, the disruptive nature of it. But the focus is on the group tomorrow, so Johan won't be involved. But as far as I'm concerned, there's been no movement in any way, and fully expect Johan to be here come next Tuesday. The focus is on the team, really. When you get close to games and in and around games, and the nature of it, the emotions of it, I think can be difficult. So what goes on exactly behind closed doors, we'll probably keep a lot of that exactly there. My stance hasn't really changed from day one of when I took over. I knew there was or would be interest in Johan. Naturally, when you score that amount of Premier League goals and you play as well as he did last season in particular, and he's built his career at this football club over the last 4 years, where he's grown in stature, presence. Not surprised by it. And yeah, I haven't really changed throughout the whole time. I've been pretty consistent with my message around it, and it's not just because there's cameras here, it's how I genuinely feel.
Yeah, the Brentford manager, Keith Andrews, they're talking about Johan Wissa, a player he is desperate to keep, a player Newcastle would love to have this season for, as I say, both Premier League and Champions League action, but it's becoming very protracted and drawn out, and that's why Newcastle, of course, have turned their attentions this afternoon to Wolves striker Jorgen Strand Larsen, with that £50 million offer placed and turned down by Wolverhampton Wanderers. So Newcastle, it feels very much at the moment, moment spinning plates. We don't yet know what is going to happen with Alexander Isak, whether he will remain a Newcastle United player or not, but they're ensuring that they're doing everything they can to get in replacements should he move to Liverpool. And of course, just to add extra spice to all of that, it's Newcastle against Liverpool here tonight at St James's Park, live on the Monday Night Football. The coverage gets underway at 6:30. It's going to be a hostile environment at St James's Park this evening.